Welcome to the webinar, How to Optimize Your Marketing Campaigns to Achieve Real Results. I'm Leonie May, Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Squiz, and you'll be joining me over the next 30 to 45 minutes. In today's session, we're going to show you how you can optimize your online campaigns. We'll show you how you can determine what content performs best by running experiments using A/B testing. You'll easily track what's working and iterate to improve. All of this means you can make data-driven decisions rather than relying on guesswork. You'll also see how to personalize content and ensure the right information goes to the right audience, increasing conversions and results. All of this being achieved in the Squiz DXP. Now, joining me today is Mary Claire Russell, Head of Customer and Field Marketing, showing a demonstration of how you can optimize your content and campaigns. We'll have Samantha Gilbert, Senior Product Manager, and Tyson Adams, Engineering Manager, joining us at the end of the session to answer any questions you may have. First, for some housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded and you will receive a copy via email within the next day or two. If you have any technical difficulties during the session, please use the Q&A window you can see at the icon at the bottom of your screen there. And please submit any questions into the Q&A window. Feel free to submit questions at any time. Samantha and Tyson will be answering them at the end of the session. So what we've heard from the market is that optimizing a marketing campaign is slow and hard to achieve. Now, marketing teams crave data to know what's working or not. They want to be able to make confident decisions. And the ability to test, learn, optimize quickly and iteratively is imperative to success. They need insights that drive more predictable results. But there are blockers. To set up experiments, particularly when you rely on developers, is complex, time-consuming, and costly. Marketing teams are relying too heavily on their IT and dev teams to be able to test what's working and to get those meaningful insights from their data. It's expensive and hard to manage many niche solutions. So adding new tools to do a specific job, like personalizing or optimizing content, it gets costly and can lead to bloated tech stacks. These niche tools also need to be managed, monitored, and able to talk to other tools in your stack. And this adds complexity. So we're hearing that lean teams in complex organizations don't know where to start. And today we're going to show you how you can build, optimize, and personalize your marketing campaigns fast with Squiz DXP. Our new modern page builder in the DXP brings it all together. Achieve and exceed your campaign goals through a suite of Squiz tools, including A/B testing for things like campaign pages, easy form creation, and content personalization. All of this is done from one place, the Squiz DXP. In the DXP, you can test landing page content. Use inbuilt A/B testing to understand what content variations on a landing page have better conversion rates. Tests can be run for the entire web pages to individual components on a page. You can build forms in seconds. Easily build and embed a form on a registration landing page for customers to sign up using Squiz Advanced Forms. Connect the form to your database, CRM, or other solutions for automatic data collection. And you can also personalize communications. So provide content that's relevant to your user journeys with personalized follow-up communications. You can segment audiences into groups and provide a follow-up web page that is right for their needs. And these are just some of the examples. So how can you achieve your business goals? The Squiz DXP is built for agility and control. Now, the Squiz DXP is truly composable, which means you get everything you need ready to go. This includes the core capabilities you need to build your brilliant experiences fast. You have the flexibility to go best of need from any vendor. So new tools and technologies appear all the time, and you need this flexibility to adapt. We don't lock you in. You can swap third-party tools in and out, and it will play nicely with everything without messy developer-reliant integrations. And do you have a non-Squiz CMS that you're currently using? Because that doesn't matter, as you can swap it in and it will still work seamlessly. If you choose to swap it out, it won't break any experience. And it feels and works like one solution. So what do I mean by this? The platform provides access controls, security, monitoring, and governance across all of your experiences and tech. I'm now going to pass to Marie-Claire to show you the Squiz DXP in action.
Thanks, Leonie. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary-Claire Russell, Global Head of Customer Marketing and Field Marketing ANZ here at Squiz. And what I'm going to do today is show you a demo of how you can use Squiz DXP to solve a challenge that is common to a lot of marketing teams across a wide range of industries and organisations. It's optimisation. We've all been there and know it's a continuous challenge. In our scenario today, we'll show you how you can optimise your content and campaigns to increase conversion using a webinar campaign as an example. Here at Squiz, you may know we run a wide range of webinars to keep you abreast of the latest updates in the Squiz DXP and how you can apply them to your organisation. We build a campaign around it to encourage you to attend, and a post-webinar we send you a recording and other relevant content to support you. Today, we're going to show you how it all comes alive using Squiz DXP to get the most from your campaign activity. We'll show you how you can optimize a campaign around these webinars to increase the number of attendees and the number of people who ultimately book a demo or another type of conversion to learn more. We will do this by using Squiz DXP to test what content performs best, personalize content for different audiences, and ultimately optimize for a better conversion. To paint a clear picture of what the scenario is, Squiz is hosting a webinar for a new feature release. The task is to optimize the webinar campaign from registration to follow-up, and the goal is ultimately to drive demo bookings. And you're on my team, the Squiz marketing team. Now let's start with the end user journey. The end user is scrolling on LinkedIn, and they see a post promoting the upcoming webinar. So they click on the link to learn more. They land on the registration page, which contains this registration form. Now, as a marketing team, we believe we can increase webinar registrations by reducing the number of form fields. We believe this will help to minimize friction and result in more registrations. We want to run an A/B test to see if this theory is true. To set up an A/B test, we need to go to the page builder of our registration page in Squiz Content Management. You can see here that we've embedded the form into our page of a code. We want to test a different version of the form with a smaller number of form fields, so we need to set up an A/B test for this section. We have the option to choose from our previous experience, but because it's our first time testing the number of form fields, I'll take you through how to create a new one. You can see now that we're in Squiz optimization capability. Let's specify the configurations of our tests. We'll name this test number of form fields. We're testing the difference between 3 versus 5 form fields, and our domain is squiz.net. We're going to send the 50% of our audience to each of our variants, and we're going to measure the success of our test with page views by seeing how many people saw the thank you page that appears after the registration. We'll start the experiment 3 weeks before our webinar date, and we'll end the experiment on the day of our webinar. Now, let's save our configurations. We can see that there are still some things left to configure. What we need to do is connect the experiment up to our webinar registration page. So let's go back to the CMS. The number of form field test is now available, so let's connect it. You can see now that the A/B tests have been applied. So let's switch over to variant B and add the code for the form with less fields. Earlier, we built the form in 5 minutes using Squiz Advanced Forms, which automatically generated a JavaScript code that we could simply copy and paste here. Finally, I want to specify the names for each of my variants. So let's go back to configuration page. You can also see here that the experiment is now connected to our registration page. Now we can see that the experiment is scheduled to start on the 21st of September. The results will also appear at the top here once the experiment is finished. Now let's see what variants A and B look like side by side. You can see on the left that we have version A with 5 form fields, and on the right we have version B with 3 form fields. Once the experiment is finished, we can review the results. In this case, version B with less form fields showed a 19% improvement over version A in webinar registrations. It's data points like this that we can use to make data-driven decisions in our next webinar campaign. We now know with less form fields, we can drive more conversions. Okay, let's continue the user journey. The user now sees the winning variant, which is version B with less form fields. They fill in the form and register for the webinar. Moments after they register, they receive an automated confirmation email with webinar details. This was triggered through an integration that syncs the form submission data into our CRM. It's a pre-built low-code connector to HubSpot that was really quick and easy to set up. On the day of the webinar, our registered users may or may not actually attend the webinar. Whether or not they attended, our goal as a marketing team is to keep them engaged and drive conversion, which in our case is to book a demo. What we want to do now is to follow up with all registrants. The follow-up content needs to be personalized based on the two segments, attended versus did not attend. Let's have a look at how we can do this. Within the Squiz customer data platform, we can create user segments based on their attendance behavior. You can see here that we have our two segments, attendee versus non-attendee. This data has come through Squiz integrations, which syncs webinar attendance information seamlessly from our CRM to the customer data platform. We need to personalize the content on our follow-up page so that we deliver the most relevant information to users in each segment. This is where the page lives in the back end of Squiz content management, and currently it contains generic, non-personalized content. To start with, we want the content in the hero banner above the fold to change based on the segment. And as we're at the front end experience, you'll see that it includes a heading, welcome message, CTA, as well as the webinar recording. Going back to our page builder in the back end, we set up a personalization in our hero banner. Listed here are two segments we saw in the customer data platform earlier. I'll go ahead and select advanced forms webinar attendee and non-attendee as the segments we want to personalize for. Just to note that you can add as many segments as you need, and if one user is part of more than one segment, the content will be prioritized in order of the list. We can see that this section has personalization applied. So let's switch over to the attendee segment and add content specific to them. I'm adding the same hero banner component, just with different content. We'll add a thank you message, but keep the same YouTube video of the webinar recording and the same CTA. Now, let's personalize the content for non-attendees. For this segment, we've tailored the welcome message to say, we're sorry we missed them, but we've also included a quick video demo in case they're too busy to watch the whole webinar. We've kept the same YouTube video of the webinar recording, but also added a secondary CTA for them to watch, a shorter 5-minute version. Now that we've finished personalizing this hero banner component, I'll fast forward and personalize all the other relevant content on this page. Okay, you can see we've personalized all the relevant blocks. In this section where we summarize the content of the webinar, we've personalized it for attendees so that it's blank, as this information is less relevant to them. In the accordion section where we've included the webinar Q&A, we haven't personalized the content as it's relevant to all segments. So let's see how the page looks for each segment. We have displayed the pages for the two segments side by side, attendees on the left and non-attendees on the right. You'll see that the non-attendees are also served with a secondary CTA, which gives them the option to watch a 5-minute demo. This acts as a quick teaser to encourage users to learn more, since they might not be as engaged to watch a full video. Non-attendees are also shown a punchy summary of what was covered in the webinar. Because this segment is less likely to be engaged, giving them these quick bites of information might pique their interest to discover more and move them to take action. So, how do we measure the performance of the personalized content? We've jumped back into the customer data platform here. Because all of our customer data is centralized here, it gives us one convenient place to review all our results. Here we've selected the segment that we want to see the results for, which in this case is the attendees segment. The results here show that 22 bookings were submitted on the follow-up landing page. If we look at the non-attendees, we can see from the graph that 8 demos were booked on the non-attendee landing page. If we combine that with the 22 demos booked by our attendees, that's a total of 30 booked, which is a 23% conversion from our total registrants. If we compared this to our previous webinar follow-up page that wasn't personalized, it only converted 14% of the total registrants, which means we drove a 9% increase in overall conversion by personalizing our content. With this data, our team now has evidence that personalization can increase post-webinar conversions. And that's just one example of how you can optimize your content and campaigns to increase conversion. By running these experiments and gathering more data points, it makes it easier for marketers to test and learn and make data-driven decisions for the future campaigns. That's all. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thanks very much, Mary Claire. Just wondering if anyone has any additional questions. We do have some that have been asked already. Please just put them into the Q&A icon that you can see there. If there are any questions that you have maybe later on during the day, please send them through to ask@squiz.net and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So feel free to ask us questions at any time. So I'll just start from the top. One of the questions that's come in, and I do have Samantha and Tyson joining me now. Can A/B testing be implemented on specific personalized sections of a page? Who would like to take that one?
I'll take that one, Leonie. So yes, A/B testing can be applied to a personalized block of content on a page, but you can't put personalized content inside an A/B test. So you can have personalized blocks, multiple of them, like Marie Claire did on a page, and you can then do an A/B test of different personalization, but you can't actually have an A/B test and then within the A/B test personalize the A/B tests.
So it has to happen in the right order, which makes logical sense for sure. Okay, next question. What is a sufficient sample size to draw a meaningful conclusion for A/B tests?
Right, I'll take that one as well. So basically, to draw a meaningful conclusions from A/B tests, the sample size required will depend on the uplift in success that you're seeking. So what we've done is include a calculator in the A/B test setup capability, which utilizes the desired uplift in success that you are looking for, your current success rate, and your daily visitor numbers. And we use that to calculate and determine a sample size that's big enough to ensure a valid test. So we calculate that in terms of how many visitors have to have been to the site before you've got a valid statistical sample, or how long you might have to run the test in order to get a valid statistical sample. And the larger the improvement that you want, the larger the sample size you'll need in order to get a reliable result.
Fantastic. I'll just keep going down. This one might be for you, I feel, Tyson. When can I get started using the new page builder with A/B testing and personalization? How can I get access?
Yeah, cool. So if you're already on the latest subscription model for the DXP with Squiz, you can access these features and functionality right away. So you just need to talk to your account manager and they'll organize getting that activated for you in your Matrix instance. Once that's been activated, you can access the new page builder, your A/B testing, and your personalization by selecting the new content page asset type in your Matrix instance.
Cool. So it is available now. Get in touch with your AM, I think, was the the message there. Next question. Can you share what's next on the roadmap for Modern Page Builder? That might be a Sam product manager question.
I think so. As a product manager, I should be able to answer this one. So there's a fair bit going on in the Modern Page Builder space. One of the things that we are working on at the moment is introducing improvements in the ability to preview in order to compare, so that you compare your test and personalization variant views. So when you were watching Marie Claire do her demonstration, she was creating multiple variants, which then meant the page looked different. If you've got a personalization variance or if you've got A/B testing variants, and we want to simplify the process of being able to preview those as you go to see whether it's working for you. So you don't have to actually set it all up and then go and run it and work out, oh, that's not right, and then change it. You can, on the fly, have a look at how it's looking. The second thing that we're looking at is putting in simplified support for page history viewing. So we want to make it nice and easy for you to see over time what the history of this page has been, what it looks like, who's done what. We're also doing more out-of-the-box component block options. So the things that you're A/B testing and personalizing are components, content component blocks on the page, and there are a few that are going to come standard, 6 in the initial release, but we are continuing to build those out. So there are more components immediately available out of the box that you can use to build pages. If you're either not in a position or don't want to build your own components, for your own design system and have developers involved. Advanced A/B test results. So what we're looking at doing is introducing a more nuanced analysis into the test result report. At the moment, the report is a first past the post kind of report. So which variant got the most success criteria outcomes. There's no nuance in there or data at the moment about, well, how close were they really? Statistically, are they much different? Does it really matter too much? Was either of them actually successful at all, or are they just slightly worse than each other? Some more nuance into reports to give you that sort of data to be able to make better judgment calls about, do these variants actually work at all and which one's better if so. We're also looking at increasing the traffic distribution options you have. At the moment, you can do it based on percentage of users. You can say, I want X percentage of users to see this variant, A/B test variant, and this percentage to see that. So 10% to see variant A, 90% to see variant B. But we're looking at introducing more complex ways of segmenting your users across variants. So things like being able to use IP address attributes in order to decide what variants the visitor might see, or to be able to use segments from your CDP to say that I want my international students to see this variant and I want my domestic students to see this, or I want my internal staff to see this variant and I want externals to see that variant. Multi-factor segmentation support. So that's where we start to use multiple criteria to decide someone's in a segment. So the example I've been using is if the person visiting your site is in the over 50s demographic and they visited the same page 3 times with no outcome, you might want them into a personal assistance required segment so someone can follow up with them to see if they're getting what it is they need to do. And the last thing I'll talk about is search-based segmentation. So we're also working on having the scenario where you can generate segments that you can then use throughout your DXP on the basis of people's search behavior. So you can set up rules that say, if a person came to my site and did this search followed by this search and then this search, that indicates they're an international student, so I want them in an international student segment. And so we're bringing in the capability to support that. So that's the main things that we're working on at the moment with Modern Page Builder.
Fantastic. There's a lot in the work, so stay tuned, and we will be updating our roadmap on our website as well very shortly. So I'll just move to the next question. How much does it cost if we want to use the Modern Page Builder? So it's a pricing question.
Okay, so you're going to go for it, Tyson?
Yeah,
yep.
I can put that on. So there's no additional fees for licensing or implementation of Modern Page Builder, including A/B testing and personalization. That's because it's all part of that latest subscription model, which gives you access to the new features. So it's pretty easy to activate. The only thing is it will count towards your usage within your existing subscription consumption limits. So if you don't have access yet, or you don't think your current consumption model will cover the additional usage, Again, you can just reach out to your account manager or our sales team, and we have a look at that, look at the price and the consumption size that you think you need, and obviously match that to suit your needs.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm just going to flick over to make sure that we have the email up there, just in case there are questions that come up after. And we have had another question come through. When A/B testing page content and personalization, does the content fulfill web accessibility standards?
Yeah, I can take that one as well.
Okay, cool.
If you like. So the components that you're seeing there and the content on there is leveraged by the component service. So in the component service, we have our core components. So those are the ones that ship with the page builder. All of those are managed by Squiz, and they are all meeting web accessibility standards. And they will be maintained and upgraded over time. With the component service, you can also create custom components. So you can actually build the components yourself and define what the HTML is and all the attributes on it to make it up to your standard that you're aiming for in your organization as well. So yeah, our core components are meeting those standards, and you're also able to create custom components to meet those standards if you wish to go for a higher standard as well.
Thanks very much, Tyson. I think there was a question that may have got put into the answers one. Is there a way to, the first question was about the way to create a toggle view using personalization. So they'd like to show different content relevant to different customer groups. And then following on, can we create a content page with, say, a simple question like a radio button or a checkbox asking whether you are public or professional, and surface specific content on what type of customer they are. The reason that they're asking is the website is written for professionals and it's starting to build for public, and want the personalization feature to track this and not have to create two separate sites for each customer. It's a very specific question. So is it better to answer this one-on-one perhaps, or is there a high level answer?
Yeah, I can give a high level answer, but I'd certainly suggest talking to us and seeing if we can dig into your use case a little bit more and having sort of a bit more of a holistic look over what you're trying to achieve there. But a high level answer I would have is the way personalization works is to sort of take away that manual step of needing to select. So you can use our CDP as an engine to help make that decision of if your user is a professional or public, and that will automatically show the right content based on what you've configured there in your page builder. If you did want to go the manual route, there's certainly ways to do that in the existing Squiz DXP in our offering, and the new content page would not exclude you from implementing those very same solutions to achieve that sort of toggle. Yeah, I think we'd be very interested to talk more specifically about your use case and find the best solution for you.
Yeah,
I think the answer is there's several ways we could do that for you, and depending on your use case, some might be better than others.
Yeah, fantastic. If you do have any other questions that come up later on during your day, please send them over to ask@squiz.net. We'll be more than happy to follow up, or you can always reach out to your account manager and they will set up a call with you. So that's the end of the show. Thank you very much for your participation as well, and your time today. We hope you got a lot out of it, and please reach out to us if you'd like more information or have any other questions. Thank you, Sam and Tyson. Yeah, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks.